I think what United have done today is stupid. And not because I think Ruben Amorim is the best manager in the world and that we should keep him forever and that everything's been brilliant. It clearly hasn't. He's clearly a manager that's on the very edge of whether he's good enough to keep managing Manchester United. I think anyone would be mad to say otherwise. It has not been good enough at Manchester United. But what we've done is seen a manager play a system that doesn't suit the squad. We've hired him anyway. Then we've given him to the end of the season. It was utterly horrific and gone, no, you know what? We're going to back him. We think it can work. It's got to improve. You've got to get top 6. Then you go into the next season. You're in the top 6. And then you go, actually, no, now we're going to sack him. And start this absolute turmoil again. We're almost exactly halfway through the season. Yep. The second half of the season is mental now. Is it Darren Fletcher for the end of the season? Maybe. Do we get an interim to the interim like we did with Ralph Rangnick? Remember how that worked out? It was an utter disaster. And the thing is, you bring Darren Fletcher in, and this is no insult to Darren Fletcher. He's never managed a men's team in his life, I don't think.
No.
So you're either saying one of a few things. A, Darren Fletcher is sort of secretly this kind of top-level manager that we think could one day go on to be a great manager. B, we think that the current manager is so toxic and bad that he's getting less out of these players than just an average coach would. Yep. Or C, we've fallen out with him, it's not going to work, and we've both been overly emotional and we've had to sack him. I think C is the most likely of those scenarios. And that, for me, is the worst one for Manchester United. Yep. When we look at the future of Manchester United and how we're being ran, hiring people that the system doesn't make sense, then no, we're going to back it. No, you've got to change your system. And then when the manager doesn't like that you're bringing him in and making him change who he is, then you sack him. What are we doing?
No.
What does this say? You've up the sacking of Eric Ten Hag. You didn't like him, you didn't want him, you kept him anyway because we as United fans typically thought, actually, if you win the FA Cup, we should probably start the next season, rightly or wrongly. You kept him on, then you sacked him in November, then you get another manager in, it's terrible, you keep him anyway. Again, you have another summer where you go, maybe we could cut loose this guy like we potentially could have done with Ten Hag last season. No, what, we'll go and back him. And then you sack him halfway through the season anyway. Yeah. Since INEOS have arrived, no manager has made it till the end of the season. What does that say? Yeah. So I get that, and I'm optimistic overall that they're going to be better than the Glazers because the Glazers didn't care and they put idiots in charge. Yeah. This alternative so far hasn't been much better. No, it hasn't. And we need to work out why it hasn't been better. We already got rid of Dan Ashworth because he thought that a 5 at the back doesn't make sense for Man United and for the squad that we've got. But at some point, we have to start seeing this vision. We have to start seeing why we're trusting these people. I think the transfers have been better, but the way they've handled Ten Hag and Amorim is embarrassing.